Up next, we have a lovely woman that we are so privileged to have serving this state, and I know you'll agree with me. She's the 78th Treasurer of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. She's a businesswoman and retired U.S. Army Reserve Colonel. She's focused on transparency, cutting waste and fees, returning $3.8 billion in unclaimed property to its rightful owners, and making education affordable for those who live in Pennsylvania. She served a remarkable 3 deployments, I didn't know this, in defense of the United States. She was awarded the Bronze Star twice for exceptional service and received the Legion of Merit before retiring from the Army Reserve with a rank of colonel. She worships at both the Christian Life Church and Emory Baptist Church. She is Stacy Garrity. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Thank you, Rose. It's so great to be back here at PLC, guys, and it's so great to see all of you. So I'm Stacy Garrity, and my pronouns are conservative, Republican, woman. Thank you. And right now, our movement is facing a colossal battle. It's a fight for our economy, our values, and our nation. So we have a governor who is just aching to be rid of those awful Republicans who won't let him turn the state government into an ATM. We have a president who measures the economic health of a nation by the size of a candy bar. A president who turned up to give the State of the Union and ended up giving a campaign speech. You all heard that, right? Promoting Bob Casey's bill to fight shrinkflation, President Biden said, we're putting fewer potato chips into bags. He said Snickers bars are smaller. So, to solve the problem, President Biden is seeking help from the same crowd that gave us inflation in the first place. So we need to understand that this so-called shrinkflation, if it exists, is a result of manufacturers trying to avoid passing along cost increases to consumers. After giving away billions of dollars while shutting down businesses, Democrats like Bob Casey are surprised that the economy is breaking. Instead of spending less, the Bidenomics crowd is talking about more expensive government programs. It's the typical bread and circus economics that brought down the Roman Empire. So let me offer this thought, President Biden. When the snack makers have a better plan to confront inflation than you, it's time for 2 things: a new president and a new senator. We have a crisis at the southern border, and the liberals talk about our need to show compassion. Now, it's not compassionate to flood border towns with non-citizens who will need to be fed, housed, and looked after. The surest way to kill compassion is to overwhelm it. Yes, we are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. And we know that no nation can exist without borders, right? So Robert Frost once questioned the notion that good walls make for good neighbors. Well, I think the family of Laken Riley, the college student killed by a man who entered our country illegally, and then they know that good walls don't just make good neighbors, they make safer neighborhoods. The fundamental differences between Republican and Democrat policies become clearer by the day. We favor energy independence. They are locked into some Futurama version of the world that just doesn't exist. They come up with almost cartoonish scenarios for why we can't use natural gas, even while it reduces Pennsylvania's greenhouse gas emissions by 30%. Republicans want to put the brakes on runaway spending. And right now, Democrats, they're pushing a budget that will swallow up our reserves while committing up to millions of dollars in future spending. The Democrats act like the guy who finds $100 in an old suit in his closet and puts it down on a car. And then when the month is out, he goes back into his closet and can't figure out why his other suits don't have another $100 in it for the next car payment. So Democrats keep saying that we have a revenue problem. Republicans know we have a spending problem. They showed a special ignorance of basic economics as well. One of them said these dollars could be spent on programs for Pennsylvanians. So I'm going to clear this up so children get off the pavement. The reason we have programs for Pennsylvanians is because we invest our dollars and then we earn interest on them. I swear, we could teach these far-left Democrats how to farm and they would eat the seed. But my friends, those are the people who currently have control of our state house. And we have to change that in November or see Pennsylvania decline into another blue state colony of the governing class. We need an attorney general who will pursue lawbreakers, as we just heard from our two candidates. Almost 10 years after Kathleen Kane went down in disgrace, we still suffer under mediocre leadership there. We need to hold on to the Auditor General's office. Tim DeFore has done his job with quiet dignity. Two Democrats are running for treasurer, and they're just tripping over themselves to prove which one is the bigger liberal. They lack talent, and neither has exhibited even a rudimentary understanding of what a state treasurer does. One of them, the party's endorsed candidate, is running for treasurer and his state rep seat at the same time. So nothing says career politician like running for two spots on the public payroll at the same time. Yes. Never in a million years did I think I'd be able to say, vote for me for state treasurer because I'm the only person running who knows what the job is. And you know what? It's an office that we have done great. We gave back $274 million last year in unclaimed property, a brand new record ever set. Also in our vault, which, fun fact, largest working vault in the nation, we have military medals, and so far we've given back 413, including 10 Purple Hearts and 3 Bronze Stars. Because that first principle of service, that people are entitled to the fruits of their labors, is more than a slogan. It's what separates us from governments that fail their people. So when Vladimir Putin launched a murderous war of aggression against the people of Ukraine, I ended all treasury investments in Russia. In fact, I took the action the very same day that Putin invaded Ukraine. We were the only agency in the Commonwealth to get our money out before the markets closed, which is your money, by the way. When Hamas launched that unspeakable attack that slaughtered innocent Israeli civilians using tactics too unspeakable to describe here, I directed Treasury to purchase an additional $20 million in Israel bonds. Pennsylvania has been investing in these bonds since the 90s, over 30 years. So put very simply, democracies should deal with other democracies. And we should always stand against terrorists whose stated objective has been, since 1948, the destruction of Israel and the Jewish people. Yeah. So let's be clear. If Hamas stopped fighting today, there would be no more war. If Israel stopped fighting, there would be no more Israel. So I recently had 2 Democrat legislators join with extremists from the Democrat Socialists of America in protest outside of my office. So they were angry about our investment in Israel bonds, so they held a die-in on the sidewalk outside my office. So they acted as if the actual die-in wasn't started by their friends in Hamas on October 7th when they murdered, raped, and mutilated their way across Israeli communities. So I also acted on another point of principle, China. So from hacking attacks on our infrastructure to theft of intellectual properties to human rights abuses that rival Stalin, the Chinese regime has shown that it will stop at nothing to amass power and undermine Western democracies. So last year, I directed my investment team to end all our investments in companies domiciled in China. And that process is complete. We're out of China. And I believe that the Commonwealth entities would be wise and morally sound in considering doing the same thing. The Democrats are totally trapped in the mindset that government isn't greedy. It only wants whatever money you have left. And they must die a little bit every time I return unclaimed property to its rightful owners. And maybe that's why they killed legislation to make it easier to return that money. So no other election has offered a clear choice. Our economy, our values, our democratic system, they're all on the line this year. So we can abandon our allies, spend down our children's inheritance, and become a second-class has-been on the world stage, or we can pick ourselves up, stand by our allies, and let the free market build this nation the way it has for the last 200 years. So I cannot stress this enough. As never before, if Republicans don't win in November, the party of common sense economics, the party of law enforcement, the party of law and order, the party of both the working man and the businessman, Pennsylvania and the country lose in the years ahead. So let's make our victory America's victory. Thank you. God bless all of you. God bless Pennsylvania. And God bless the United States. Thank you.